Hello, welcome to the AdaptiBar Civil Procedure webinar. Today we'll be covering civil procedure with a specific focus on the topics we see students struggling with the most when answering MBE questions. Here to provide his expertise, as always, is Professor Jonathan Grossman.
Thanks, Jacob. It's good to be with you guys today. Yes, civil procedure sucks. There's no question about it. Why they sadistically added it to the MB a couple of years ago, I'll never know. And considering that I didn't learn it 30 years ago myself in school and had to teach it to myself when they added it, you can imagine my chagrin about that too. I only remembered, the only thing I did remember about Civ Pro, it had something to do with a shoe. The shoe was going someplace, something about a shoe, I have no idea. So if I could teach some of these rules to myself, I can teach some to you. You can feel better about Civ Pro, and that's what we'll talk about today.
Thank you, Jonathan, and I will let you kick it off.
So, civil procedure, generally like a couple of other MBE topics we'll talk about, has basically two kinds of students. You've got the litigation people that like to be and want to be complex civil litigators and love to talk about minimum contacts. They love this stuff. And then people like me who barely learned it, if at all, in school and never want to be inside of a courtroom. Those are the people on the transactional track during school, don't want to be a litigator. So I say to the litigation students who love this, don't over litigate the civil procedure questions. These questions are still only written for people like myself, the basic law, the basic stuff that all of us would have a chance to get correct. So don't over litigate and make motions you think they should make, and don't do what you think you would do from your clinics, etc. Remember that when you're doing these questions, you only apply the basic one-line definitions and focus on the issues that the facts are talking about. For my non-litigation people, don't be intimidated. All they're testing you on are definitions. They're not expecting you to be a complex civil litigator. They're basically, like in all the other subjects, making you know definition. What's one big problem with Civ Pro? There's a lot. So the bar tells you that 2/3 of all the questions coming on Civ procedure come from three main areas in the outline: jurisdiction, motions, and pretrial. Not 26 questions or 27 questions on res judicata. Don't worry about that. Jurisdiction. Now, the problem is under jurisdiction, you've got a bunch of little topics: subject matter, personal, venue, service of process, removal, and each one of those has a couple different definitions to it. So there's a larger quantity of material in Civ Pro. Get what you can. This is where I'm always saying in all subjects, not only is it important to know the rules, it's important to keep the rules separate. When you get that mushy 2-page single-spaced outline and everything is so condensed, everything is jumbled up in your head and you can't remember again which buzzword goes with which rule. Get back to basics. Subject matter. Let me have these rules over here. Personal, over there. Venue, excuse me. That's what I'm talking about. Keep all the rules separate and know that for each topic, there's little mini rules. So you have to kind of bite it off a little slower rather than just kind of taking this all into one big 5-page outline. For each one of these rules, the questions can look a little weird. Why? Because they put a lot of things in the hypo. In other words, you and I'm suing you. I live in New York. You live in Florida. The case is worth this, but now I want to go here. One trick I always like to talk about for Civ Pro is make sure you know who the parties are. They don't say plaintiff defendant. They're going to say man and the friend, etc. And then at the bottom, they'll then be referring to the man and the friend, but you forget who's the plaintiff and who's the defendant, which is going to be important if we're talking venue, if we're talking removal. Who gets to do these things? Who are the proper parties doing the proper actions? So first thing you do with Civ Pro is always make sure you know who's the plaintiff, who's the defendant, and kind of mentally or virtually keep track of that so you know who's actually doing a lot of the actions. Jurisdiction, venue, etc. Your brain can go in a bunch of different directions. In Civ Pro, as in all the other subjects, remember, they're only going to test you on one rule at a time per question. In the answer choices, they're going to talk about 4 different rules. That's why people who look at the answers too quick don't know what they're looking for, and they get confused. There's many answers that are legally correct statements, so you get a lot of Civ Pro answers that say, yes, because they're minimum contacts, yes, because the defendant can remove. You get a lot of legally correct statements of law, but the reason they're the wrong answer to the question is because those answers had nothing to do with the facts. You didn't recognize that because you're reading too quick and you're a little insecure about the hypo, so you want to get down to the answers too quick. slow down up there so you know what you're looking for down there. That's from knowing rules and keeping everything separate. So for Civ Pro jurisdiction, keep those little mini rules separate. Motions, same thing. You got several different kinds of motions. They each have a different name. They each have a different definition. They're not making you draft the motion. They're just making you know which buzzwordy element, what's the standard for the court to grant each one of the motions. There's the directed verdict. The judgment is a matter of law. The renewed motion. There's a lot, but they each have little elemental definitions. Like I say in all these presentations, keep it simple to the basic rules. Presume that's what they're testing you on, and don't combine the different motions. Don't combine personal and subject matter. Keep it separate. As I said earlier, 18 of the 27 questions in Civ Pro are coming from 3 big ticket areas that are just focusing on bare bone definition, not the minutia. You're not going to bomb Civ Pro because of statutory interpleader and collateral estoppel. Once you feel good about your core definitions and you're doing okay in jurisdiction, motions, and pretrial, and you're keeping all the law separate, then you can afford a little bit of time to spend on some of the weirder rules, and you maybe will steal a couple of extra questions. But remember, civil procedure, big picture, lot of law, keep the rules separate. Know who the plaintiff defend, know who the parties are, keep those separate, keep your rules separate, and know they're not making you be a complex civil litigator. They're just making you focus on knowing some basic definitions. Always presume they're testing you on the one-line, simpler black letter law, and you know what you're looking for, so you shut up and pick it, and you'll have more success than you believe in civil procedure.
Thank you, Jonathan. That wraps it up for us. As always, for further guidance or to hear more from Jonathan, you can check out our AdaptiBar video lectures. You could specifically look at the civil procedure bundle if that's all you would like, or you can look at any of the other topics or bundle as a whole. Thank you again for watching. I'll hand it back to Jonathan.
So remember with Civ Pro, they're like little puzzles. There's a lot of pieces. Focus on which piece goes where, and that's black letter and reading comp. Keep it simple. Keep your rules separate. Shut up and pick it, and you'll be surprised how well you're going to do. Best of luck.